Hey. Okay, I'm cool. Hey, welcome back to my YouTube. Hey, welcome back to my. I don't know why I'm cracking up. Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, story time. Interesting things. Let's see. I work at this one place, and shit goes down there. Once, so I was working, and I was with one of my coworkers, and I walked by this car, and the door was open, and this guy was sitting there, just staring out the window at the front windshield, and I was like, what is he doing? But then, like, I saw his hand move, so I was like, oh, he's okay. Maybe he's just taking a breather. He was still there, the same thing, 10, 15 minutes later, so my coworker went to go check on them. He came running back. I was like, oh my God, is he okay? And he was like, he's not okay. He went inside and some people came out and started talking to him to see what was up. And the paramedics ended up having to come because this guy, he was drunk off his ass. This old man was too drunk. He could not move, he could not drive. We had to get the paramedics. Oh my God, I thought he was dead. I almost started crying. I was like, ah! One time, this guy was walking by me and he completely collapsed. And everyone kept trying to help him and everything, but he would not let anyone help him. So we had to go in, tell our manager, and they came out, and then they called, and then the paramedics came. Apparently one time, a car caught on fire on a day I was not working. Oh, one time this one homeless man came up to me, and he was like, how old are you? I'm like, why? Well, if any of these other guys try to mess with you, just call my name, and I'll be there. I promise. Just say, hoo-ah! And I'll be there. I promise. I promise. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I promise. And he started walking away, and then he turned around the corner. Then he came back, and he was like, I promise. And then he left. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, let's see. I worked with these kids before. We asked them if they could roll their tongue like this. They all went silent. And there's one kid, he was like, no, but watch me dab. He was 4 years old. What? Me and my coworker were cracking up. Okay, so let's talk about some nerve-wracking, terrifying things that have happened to me. I used to play piano, I used to take piano lessons and stuff. When I played piano, I would have to do performances, recitals, concerts, whatever. I have the most horrible stage fright ever. So I just get so nervous and I mess up a little. So shaky and sweaty and my mind blanks and I'm almost crying. I'm just like, ah. So I always hated it, but I did it because I always thought, oh hey, maybe if I keep doing it more and more, I'll get better and my stage fright will go away. Boy, was I wrong. It never went away. Eventually I started playing I would have to memorize songs and play them in front of judges. And the last performance that I did in front of a judge, it was just me and the judge in a room, and I had to play 3 songs. The 2 went by pretty good. The last one, I kept messing up on so much. I almost started freaking crying in front of this woman. I was like, oh my God, I just want to get out of here. I wanted to run out and cry. But eventually I got it all together and I played it. Then I went out of the room and I started crying in my dad's arms. I was like, ah. Oh yeah, and then another time, I don't know if it was before or after actually, but another time I messed up just a little bit. And I went out and cried in front of my piano teacher. I cannot play in front of people. Oh, once, this was when I was in 8th grade, I believe, so it was 5-ish years ago. I was at the mall with an old best friend. We were just walking around, looking at stuff, and this guy, he looked around our age, maybe a little older. He came up to us and he was like, hey, how old are you guys? And my friend was like, old enough. I'm just like, why? And he's like, I'm trying to find some people to go smoke with. And I'm like, sorry, try someone else. And then we left. And then my friend told her mom. Then her mom called security people to talk to some security people at the mall. And then we had to point out the guy and then they kicked him out. And I was like, oh my gosh. I bought this 1 pound thing of chocolate. Okay, the summer of 2015, I went on a vacation with my family and one of my old best friends. Me, my sister, my old best friend, and my sister's son we drove to this lake, and we saw these people jumping off this bridge into the river and swimming and stuff. Like, it wasn't that high up and it was okay and stuff, and they didn't die. So my friend was like, hey, we should do that. I'm like, I don't know about that. I went up there with her. She jumped first. She screamed, and I looked down. I was like, it was far, and it took me a while of convincing myself, and I eventually jumped down. It was so fun. We swam down the river, and then we did it again, but this time I jumped first. It was so scary, oh my god. Okay, so I've had surgery 3 or 4 times in my life, but only 2 that I can really remember. My most recent one was summer 2015. This is what happened. So in June, it was just like a few days after school, I had just gotten out, and I was helping set up a pool we had just recently bought. I just was like so weak, and my stomach kind of hurt, so I thought, oh hey, maybe I'm dehydrated. So I just like kind of push on through it. But then eventually I was like, oh my god, I do not feel good. I think I need to go eat something. I need to go sit down. So I went and I had some cereal. I talked to my dad, and I was like, hey, I don't know what's wrong. My stomach really hurts. And I was like, well, maybe just go sleep it off. And I was like, okay. So I went and took a nap. I felt better. And then I woke up and I ate dinner, and I was good. And then I was in so much pain. I was crying. My dad had left to go on a bike ride, and I called him. I'm like, Dad, I'm in so much pain. And so he came back, he came and checked on me, and then my mom ended up having to take me to the ER. I was there for like, let's see, I think we left about 6, and they didn't tell me what was wrong with me until like 10, and because that's when after they did a ultrasound, and they were like, yeah, you have a bunch of gallstones. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but at least they know what's wrong with me. And they wanted to schedule my surgery for the day before we went on vacation. We scheduled it for the week after my vacation. Plus I was really weak after my surgery. The summer before that, no. It was the year before that, but during spring break, I had to get my 4 wisdom teeth out and my canines because they were stuck up there with no room to come down. I got them out, and I woke up crying. I'm like, I want my mom. I want my mom. And I was just like, I was still tired and waking up. I was just in pain for several days. My cheeks were so swollen. It was like a few days before spring break, I believe. So I only was in pain for like half of spring break. I think that's pretty much it of the stories I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep being you. I love you guys so much. Always keep fighting. You're not alone. You are enough. And I'll see you guys next time.